So, welcome to the Super Listing Agent podcast. I am here with our special guest. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Listings, and it's Leo Robles, Mr. AI. And we have Jason and Brianna out of Laverne, California, Mr. and Miss Laverne, and they're going to be sharing their secrets on how they've been able to create such amazing success. Anthony, I know you were getting into some of their metrics and numbers, man. I mean, I think they're knocking it out of the park. I mean, what did they do in production in the last 12 months? You said.
Well, these are the heaviest hitters in the, Inland Empire, LA County region, and they're just dominating the foothills. It's hard to keep up, to be honest, Mr.
Yep.
AI. I think they've done like 70 plus transactions in the last 12 months. It's really hard to keep up. And
Wow.
it's just, I mean, they are absolute machines out there. So
Yep.
why don't you guys tell us? I mean,
Yeah.
do you even know how many transactions you've done? It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, we're going to end up with the year right around 70, 73 transactions. So
Wow.
obviously, I remember sitting back with Brianna, my wife, obviously a husband and wife real estate team here. And that's the secret sauce. One of them, at least, I feel like, is having a husband and wife real estate team. But I remember sitting back with her and saying, could you imagine if we can sell one home a month? Right? That'd be like 12 a year. That
Yeah.
was right when we started, like 15 years ago. And obviously more than one a week, which is just crazy when you think about it. You know what I mean?
What a blessing. Congratulations to you guys.
Thank
And
you.
let's get into like that story. I'm very curious to learn like how did you guys both start at the same time? Tell us a little bit of the story, how you guys entered the real estate industry, and obviously you guys are husband and wife team now, but how did it all start up?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd probably get a slightly different answer on who you ask, I guess, right?
No, well, Jason started first and then I followed later.
But I mean, we backed into it, to be honest with you. I mean, for a long time, I kept asking the question, what do I want to be when I grow up, right? And obviously, when I'm 30, still asking that question, like something's probably, I'm not doing what it is I love or what it is I want, right? And so obviously, I went to college, got an MBA in finance, and through that process of getting the MBA in finance, I was able to sit for my broker exam, which is back in the day is kind of crazy that they let you become a broker and you have no real experience. Now they won't let you do that. But I was able to get my broker license, and then I hung it with my license with a buddy of mine, out in Santa Monica. And he said, hey, kind of, Pasadena this way is mine and Pasadena that way is yours. And that's kind of how we started, and I was doing another business at the time with my brother and a family member, and a home improvement business. And that was going well, but obviously through relationships is what this business is all about. Had a couple of people, because they knew me, they liked me, and they trust me, like Anthony always says, hey, I know you got a real estate license. My mom needs help on a house, and this happened a couple of times. She needs to sell a house. She's not happy with her other agent, blah, blah, blah. Can you help us? And I obviously said, sure, because that's what we do, but came clear on what it was they're trying to do is sell the house for the most money. I obviously asked Brianna at the time, she didn't have a license. Can you at least come with me and help me get this house ready for pictures? Can you help me, at the open house, be there and answer questions? And so we kind of started as a husband and wife team, but at the beginning I had the license and she was helping me. And then I stepped back and said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, you should get your license. Like, you're super good at what you're doing. You know what I mean? The pictures were phenomenal on the first listing because she staged it, you know what I mean? And she
Wow.
got it ready. And then obviously just listening to her talk to the folks that come in, the buyers that come in from the very first listing we had, her very right brain, I'm not like that. I'm opposite that. That's why we make a good team. But she sees things that aren't there. And somebody says, hey, I wanted a house with a inside washer and dryer, so I'm not going to make an offer on this because it's in the garage. But when she's able to tell them on the first listing, there's 4 different ways you can bring that washer dryer inside, and they actually end up making an offer and buying the house, that just blew my mind. And I'm like, you got to get your license. And so that went on for a couple of years, and then finally,
Definitely have to solve people's problems and don't let them walk away thinking something can't be done. Anything can be solved. So that's
Well,
Yes,
I love
100%.
that. And if I may ask, it was a home improvement business, like a family business, or were you kind of like leaning in like the construction world? Or tell us a little bit more about that.
I mean, that's a super interesting story as well. So I do have my contractor's license, and that did come from the family
Wow.
home improvement business. And we started actually through my MBA at the college. One of the last classes was a bumper to bumper business plan that you do for a company. One of the companies that we did this for was a retractable screen door company. And obviously, 5 or 6 other grad students are part of your team. And for the entire semester, you're working for this company, trying to show them how to improve the company, giving them suggestions. At the end, there's a big presentation. Back in the day, I'm talking 20 years ago, there's a binder that you leave them, and here
Uh-huh.
you go. And I don't know what I was expecting, but they kind of just took the binder and said thank you and threw it on their back table. And I'm like, that's it? Like, I don't know. And so I grabbed that binder and went to my family and said, hey, there's something here, we should run with it. And so that's how the whole business kind of started for the home improvement, but obviously led to having some knowledge of what is required to fix up properties to help maximize value too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So from thank you for sharing that. So from what it sounds like, you guys both kind of sort of started working together immediately, right? From when the sounds of it, right, Brianna? You kind of just stepped in,
It felt
you
very
applied
natural. Yeah.
your superpower in right away, right? Sounds like the visual part, and yeah, I think that's actually, I would say, question for me is, how did you fine tune that process of like what each of you do, or walk us through how you guys work together? I think because I bet you anything that there's a lot of couples out there that would love to have the type of like partnership that you guys have in the business,
Mhm.
right? And so talk to us about that, right? For anybody that wants to aspire to do something with their husband or wife.
Well, I'll say one thing real quick. For a long time, I asked myself, what do I want to do when I grew up? Right. And as soon as she got her license and we did this together, I realized I'm doing exactly what God put us here to do, which is help people through real estate, and doing it with my wife.
Amen.
There's not a better
Love
person
that.
out there. You know what I mean? And so I wake up every day just so grateful, obviously, to be alive, but doing this, with this service, if you will, for, other people, helping them get to where they want to go and doing it in a way which best for them, not based on the transaction, but based on the relationship, and doing it with Brianna. It's just
We
amazing.
are definitely given two gifts in two different areas, and when they come together, it just helps everyone. It helps our clients. It helps us. It just puts us where we need to be.
And Leo, Mr. AI here, what I see from this, what I love the most is that there's so many real estate agents in the industry who are, it's like they perceive it as a negative connotation with the husband wife working together, and they like, oh, we would just. It's always like a negative connotation. But what I think is the most beautiful about Jason and Brianna is they appreciate the time they get to spend. They truly like they love each other. It's so clear, and it's like you have such a beautiful relationship, and you can't get enough of each other. And it's like it shows. And it's
Thank
I
you.
talk to so many husband wife teams. It's like they don't have that synergy the way you do, and it just seems like you came from like this construction entrepreneurial type background. And it seems like you put, your priorities goes God, and then it's your, husband wife relationship and your family, so you've got this value system down, right?
Correct.
And then it seems to me like one of your biggest staple from when I just hear all these things throughout the LA foothills is you've got like this amazing staging company, and you guys coming together, and it's like you guys together are one. And it seems to me like your staging operation's a big part of what you do. And I just think it's a beautiful thing. So maybe we
Absolutely.
could start leading into that. It's just so
Yep.
awesome seeing
I
this
know. We
synergy.
want to know the secret of that. How are you guys doing it? How are you guys doing it successfully, right?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
definitely the house preparation before even staging. Like, make sure it's clean, make sure the windows are clean, make sure the house is freshly painted. Whatever you could do at the least amount of money that will go the furthest is what we focus on.
yeah, I think the taking a step back, I think when we get a call to go on a listing appointment, I feel like I truly, really, we both do. We really feel like God is connecting us to the people we're supposed to help, and through that listing appointment, it's going to be very clear to those potential sellers and very clear to us if we're supposed to work together, right? And once we do get the listing, it becomes our focus to help them get to their goal in a way that's best for them, not what's best for us. So it's never transactional. And if someone goes through this entire process and collects offers and realizes they don't want to sell, that's fine. You could cancel, and you don't have to sell. We're not trying to make it transactional, but I feel like you're missing a key piece of information when you say, I want to sell my house, and that is what's someone willing to pay for it. And you don't know that until you go through the process of getting the house ready, taking the pictures, going to the open house, collecting offers, negotiating, blah, 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 right? But if you do it incorrectly, they'll never know what they could have got for their house. And I almost feel like some of these agents are doing it in a way that's criminal, right? I mean, you're never going to
Right.
get tried or put away for it. But taking pictures when there's cats on the counter or there's dirty dishes in the sink, right? I
Or
mean,
there's shampoo bottles in the shower all over the place. I mean, there's things you could do that cost no money. Seats should be down. There's tons and tons of. We could go on and on.
and so we have
Yeah.
a process, where we walk through the inside, outside of the property as part of the listing appointment. We come up with a very short list of items that we feel can add value. Obviously, some take money, some don't take money. And if they turn left, I don't want to do anything. You still can do something,
Yeah,
not
absolutely,
money.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Small details. What I would say is also curious. Did you guys go straight into listings immediately in your business? Is that kind of like you guys always started, or you started off with working with buyers? Or I'm sure you guys still represent buyers. I mean, I'm not sure. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, did you guys? Was there like a light bulb moment where you're like, you know what, I want to become more listing focused, or how did that happen?
I mean, 100%. I mean, we kind of just took at the beginning what we got, honestly, and some were listings and some were buyers, and it was about a 50-50. But now we're super listing heavy because that is where we really excel. Our real niche, to be honest with you, is helping someone sell to buy, right? Because there's a timing element involved, there's logistics involved, there's rent backs on the sale side, obviously timing the escrows. Maybe they want to do some work on the purchase side. So our real niche is someone that needs to sell to buy, because we help them maximize value on the sales side in a way that we feel no one else can. Obviously, Brianna mentions that gets kind of a boring with the numbers and stuff, but I could show you how we're selling 63% quicker than other agents and for 4% more based on the square foot, based on the days on market. And I'm just taking a specific city, Laverne, for example, based on how we prepare the property for sale, based on how we are there at the open house, taking objections and being able to convert them by taking a laundry room from outside to inside, by being able to negotiate offers higher. And so we're able to sell your home quicker and for more money. And we do a lot of the prep work, and I'm not saying we're there painting and Brianna's there cleaning the oven, but we have people and we project manage those people in place, because the game really now is a ding on your phone. And the ding on your phone is a buyer sitting there realizing, do I want to go see that property or not? And they're going to make a decision within 5 seconds if they want to, based on those pictures. And if the pictures aren't dialed in, they're not getting off their couch. And if they don't get off their couch, they're not coming to your open house, which means you got less offers, which means less demand, which means less price, right? And so
Absolutely.
it's a combination of the pictures and the price. Their phone's not going to go ding if you price it wrong. They're not going to get off their couch if they don't like the picture. So we try, like a painter does, to prepare the property for sale. And a lot of people think that means a briefcase of cash, and that's not what it means. It means doing some small things.
A little bit goes a long way. Very small things, like what you said earlier, the details matter. We don't want to.
So what I'm hearing, you guys, it's like what I love about you guys too. It's like you've got that male female synergy. Like there's a lot of solo rider agents. Some people respond better to males or females depending on the homeowner. And I like your strategy of like small to big. So when you guys are on a listing appointment, I mean, you guys are super humble. Like I've seen that you've got a massive staging operation, a huge warehouse, a massive team. So what does that look like? Are you guys holding firm and saying, hey, if you want the full blown staging, you appreciate our value, it's at a 6% listing. And if you don't want the staging, it's kind of 5%. Do you guys see yourself getting more 6% signed listings because they see so much value in your approach?
Yeah, obviously.
What does that look like?
6% is the goal, right? I mean, and obviously through, maybe there's some credits that you got to do or help out depends on who's representing the buyer, things like that. But yeah, obviously now we roll the staging, we roll the project management, we roll all the stuff that we quote unquote do as a concierge service, white glove service to our sellers in with our commission. We're not trying to nickel and dime them. I feel like we're aligned. We're rowing in the same direction to the same island called Soul. And that's only if you like the offers that hit you. You know what I mean?
It.
Yeah.
No, continue. I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to highlight, we're all going to the island called Sold. I love it.
We're aligned. We're in the boat with you, rowing to the same island.
Team.
Because look, you don't like the offers I get. You say the word and you don't sell. How can you decide to sell a property? I know we're signing a listing agreement, we're selling, but let's just back up for a second. Let's just go collect offers, right? I mean, that's where we're at. And let's see if you like those offers we get you. and let's go ahead and at that point decide to sell. But I mean, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. And I know you've told me 10 times, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, that you have to sell because of whatever, fill in the blank, a divorce or moving out of state or whatever. So I know we're going to sell, but I just want you to know this is not a transaction for us. We're trying to get you the most money for your property. And there's a way and a process to do that. And obviously staging is a huge part of that. I mean, nowadays I know there's virtual staging and that's better than no staging. Don't get me wrong, but you've done the ding on the phone. Okay. You priced it right. Now they see the pictures and they get off their couch and they go to the open house. And now they're going to go there and get let down because your pictures online don't match what's in the house. Well, at least you got them off the house and maybe you could sweet talk them at that point. But we really, truly believe in staging.
There's all sorts of variations of staging. A vacant house, you put the furniture in there. There's variations of staging with the people's furniture. You take maybe a third of it out because people have too much furniture. And there's times like maybe once a year, there'll be the perfect house and it looks great.
Yeah.
So
Once a year. Yeah.
yeah, but there's so many variations in staging and it's such a combination. Call it editing. So when someone lives in the house, you edit their house. You take away personal things. You take away tables that are too big. I'm just using as an example. You just edit what they already have, and then the people are mesmerized what the house looks like when I'm done. So it's
I like it. That's a really nice way of putting it. I love the way you said editing. Like we're just going to edit a couple things, right?
Right. It kind of takes the edge off so we don't people's feelings.
And I like that. And because when you say edit, because it's kind of a delicate situation,
It
right?
is.
Because people might get offended if you're like, oh, I don't like this. And you're trying to
And
depersonalize
that's
it.
like imagine they have all this emotional connection with maybe it's a piece of furniture or something, right?
Yes.
We're going to edit it out.
Yes, that's exactly how I teach it. We have to, someone might use it all the time where it's sentimental, so I'm very delicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Right.
explain exactly it's a situation we're editing for the picture. It very well explained, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And I always ask if it's special to them.
Oh, I love that. Now,
Yeah.
Brianna, are you doing the talking on the listing appointment about the staging? Are you the artist? I can see you're the artist, right? He's more the numbers guy. Okay.
I walk in the house and I could already see everything I would move or take away in like a second.
Right. And so you got a delicate approach. So you ask them first, like, is there anything sentimental? And then you go into the editing part, and then you explain, hey, it's just declutter, depersonalize. You don't want them feeling like they're in your home, they're in their home, and your job is to intercept the buyer and make them fall in love.
Exactly.
Right.
Very neutral.
Love it.
Love it.
So let's just say, I call you and say, hey, I'm ready to sell my house in Laverne. I have availability at 6 p.m., right? Hypothetical, and you guys hypothetically are available. Walk us through what you guys do to prepare so you could walk in there with ultimate, confidence, intentionality. Like, what are the things that you guys are using? And walk us through like the framework of success of what the successful listing presentation looks like.
Yeah, I mean, so preparation wise, obviously we're bringing our iPad with us, and we have a listing packet that we bring with us. And in that packet, there's some case studies of doing very little to get a lot more, right? That we actually have built out, 3 or 4 of those. We took some time about, I don't know, 5 years ago to really write down our values and our vision, and like we share those with our client. Like we're not just doing this. Like, I mean, I always say you need a C- to get your real estate license. They stop counting at 70%. They don't care. So when someone says,
Hey, that's true.
yeah, when someone says, my aunt or my friend, or I mean, everybody knows 10 agents. You know what I mean? Like, so
someone that has a license.
But until you meet us, right? Until you meet Mr. Listings or Mr. AI, I mean, buyer thinks everyone's the same, or seller thinks everyone's the same. I'm sorry. And so obviously our first approach, after we prepare, we're doing the normal, CMA, just trying to, and it's in Laverne, it's in our backyard. We live here, right? Their sales is going to directly affect the price of value of my home. So we want to try and get it as high as it is.
Ooh, I like that. The personal.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we try and obviously show up early, show up, look the part, right? I mean, introduce ourselves, firm handshake, look them in the eyes, and, and ask them, should we remove our shoes, or is it okay to come in? That's the first question I ask, honestly, just to show respect for their house. I mean,
ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice little tidbit. I've never done that. I'm just saying
You just walk in, Anthony.
Well, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If we go on a tour, we ask to do a lap of the inside, outside the house, because that right there, it helps tell us the value.
Yeah, don't sit down
Don't
first.
sit down.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times they'll try and direct you to the couch or the kitchen table or done, but just in a polite way, ask them, is it okay really quick if we can just take a quick tour of the inside and maybe the outside? Is that okay? And I can't remember a time they said no, right? But
And they give you the tour, or you walk on your
90% of the time they give us a tour. A couple times people let us walk on our own.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah, the house is there, go ahead. But most of the time, like Brianna
most of the
said,
time,
they're giving us a tour.
and they
which-
tell us all about the house, which is great.
And as they're
Yes.
giving us a tour, obviously I'm taking notes. I kind of make a, I don't know, a plus minus list of, good and bad, or like things that I can see that can add value instantly. And then over here, when they tell us that they just upgraded the water heater, that's on the plus list, right? So I got like a minus plus list kind of going on.
I like that. Plus and minus list.
Is that like a pre-made checklist? Is it an actual like pen and notepad, or you just
Yeah,
kind of
it's
winging it as you go?
it's a pre-made cover sheet, if you will, it's called a pre-listing packet that we put
Yeah.
together, and it has it literally has what I just said, like a T drawn on the page. Obviously has the negative and the plus, right? And that's just for my own knowledge, but it also helps when you're writing the description on the MLS. And
The roof was
Mhm.
done 2 years ago. The AC was just done last year. So all that's on that sheet.
Do you guys also that plus and minus? Like, I'm really now curious of this plus and minus list. Do you go over that when you actually finish the tour? Sit down with them. Do you go over, hey, these are the plus items, these are the minus items, or how do you go about that?
obviously they gave us, everyone's proud of what they've done to the house a
Yes.
couple of times, which is crazy. The sellers obviously said, here's a list of everything we've done to their house. It's like, oh, wow, that's huge. Like, they just made my whole plus list for me. I love that. You know what I mean? But a lot of the times too, like Brianna said, we don't have the listing yet. You know what I mean? So we're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or
Yeah,
come
so we're
off
very delicate when we go over the list.
Yeah, but they do ask, obviously, because part of this listing is us letting them know that we'll get you more money for your sale in less time. And we know the game. We understand how it's done. But if we come in here with my cell phone or my Polaroid camera and take pictures today, you're going to leave $50,000 on the table. Well, what do you mean? How can I not do that? Right. And so then we walk them through. Well, if it's okay, can I share with you what I wrote down that I think would add value? And I'll prioritize those for you in a way that if they do require any money, that you can decide what you want to do. It always starts with a quote first, though. So don't, but if you don't want to do it, how can you decide if you don't want to do it if you don't know what it costs? Right. So we always try one after the initial meeting to summarize in an email, obviously, what we did. Nice meeting you. This is what we talked about. Here's a couple of the handouts we gave you in a digital format. And then obviously, here's what we talked about of what we feel would add value. And if you want, we can start getting quotes for some of these items for you, right? And then based on those quotes, if they decide to do it, we can help them with the project management.
Yeah, not everyone decides to do everything that we suggest. They might pick pieces out. They might want to do something themselves. It might be a combination where they want a painter, but they'll do everything else. So every house is different, and it's just knowing the right combination. And every
Well, and here's a real tidbit is that like a lot of buyers, as you know, come in and if they see, I don't know, the acoustic ceiling, right? Cottage cheese ceiling, they're not going to make an offer, right? I'm just saying because we've helped buyers too, right? And if they do make an offer, it's going to be for $20,000 under your asking price, right? Because they think that's how much it costs to do that when really it's $1,500, right?
Right. Love that.
And so you don't have to do anything in your house is still going to sell. Let me at least take down all the San Francisco 49ers stuff and all the Republican magnets off your fridge and all the other stuff that is going to make buyers react in a negative way if you're okay with that, because you don't have to spend any money to do that. You know what I mean? And then the fish sitting in the aquarium that hasn't been changed for 3.5 years, I recommend, I have a guy, if you don't, but $40, he can get that looking really, really good again, because the smell is coming off of that thing are not very conducive to helping you get
Well,
top
you just
dollar.
think the person doesn't take care of their house. It's so much of this is psychological, and we're just trying to take all the psychological negative components away.
Yes, I like that.
So that's your strength. You guys go in from a consultative approach, right?
Mhm.
And what I love is you treat it in a divine way, and you got yin and yang here, best of both worlds. And you're going in and you're giving them options, and people love options. Now, I guess when you guys give your presentation, right, as Mr. Listings, I don't ask to take off my shoes. I just kind of barge in, and I'm a little bit more aggressive in my approach on certain things, and when you get to that moment where you've given your presentation, you're at the living room or the kitchen counter, do you guys ask for the signature? Do you explain the listing contract, or do you just let them think about it? You know, that moment on the listing appointment where it's like, do you feel you're a right fit? Do you guys have a go-to line?
Yeah.
For example, I always just I ask them, hey, I believe we're a good fit for each other based on everything here. Are you comfortable allowing me to be your agent? And that's where I'll go in for the handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you more like passive? I mean, everyone's got a different approach.
Yeah, we're kind of in between those two approaches, to be honest with you, because we're not as aggressive as you are. Like literally taking their hand and shaking it, and
I
like,
actually like that.
I love
I
that
like
though.
that.
You have a lot of, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I should do that a little bit more, but I've always kind of looked at it like, again, God's connecting us to the people we're supposed to help. They're going to know very clearly after talking with us, and we're going to know too if we're supposed to help each other. If that's the case, the listing is going to get signed tonight, tomorrow, or next week. And if it doesn't, we're not supposed to help them, right? I mean, that's kind of how I get it. And I don't push it, right? I don't have but I have had sellers that want to sign there, and they could do that if it's a done deal and they've already, obviously the referrals, right, or the repeat clients, right? I mean, yeah, we do come prepared to be able to sign in person, but obviously if it's a new seller and we have just finished the listing, I kind of take the approach of, let me summarize the meeting. Let me go ahead and send that over to you in an email along with the listing agreement that we talked about, because I definitely go through all the blanks on the listing agreement. I always act like it's a Mad Libs, back in the day, you fill in the nouns and the verbs. That's all it is. It's a boilerplate form written to protect you, the seller. And we kind of populate it with what we talked about. There's a marketing price and a final sales price. Let us put in the marketing price on the listing agreement. Let us put in, I don't need 6 months, right? I mean, I'll do a listing agreement every single day is what I say, but that's going to be a pain in the neck for you. So let's just get a 3-month window here, 4 months, 5 months, whatever you're comfortable with, because we just talked, there's going to be some preparation that we got to do. It's probably going to take 3 or 4 weeks, right? And then we go to the market for a couple of weeks, and then usually a 30-day escrow. So we send that over to them and they sign it. I mean, 9 out of 10 times they'll sign it, right? And if not, then I kind of look at it like they're not supposed to help. But maybe we'll get that 10th one if I'm a little bit more aggressive, I guess.
Yeah. So anything else that you guys are doing that is like, I would say, a secret gem that you've seen made a massive difference in either them making a decision or either them saying, yeah, this is my team. And obviously you guys have shared a ton of nuggets, right? But is there any other things that are being said strategically that are those little nuggets are like, hey, you have to do this, right? If you really want to connect with the customer and make them really, take it to the next level. What would you say?
What would you say?
I feel like we're very honest.
Mm.
People can see I would think they see our value. They see our honesty. They see we're not trying to pull one over on them. They see that we're there to help them. It's not about us, and we tell them that. And I mean, what else would you say?
I just think for us, we're just real people, right?
Yeah,
we live in the same city you do. We want your home to sell for as much as it can because it's going to help out the value of our home. We don't just sell your home, we sell the community. We know about all the local events. Our kids went to the same schools that are around the corner from your house. So it's an impression we're giving that we are the local area experts, right? And so I think they pick up on that. And then obviously we have things to point to, like we just sold this one for the highest per square foot in the entire city, and the city's been around for hundreds of years, right? I mean, and so like we have things to point to that shows that we're doing.
Love it.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of we say the houses are our product. So our product shows our work. So our work is the pictures and how the pictures look, not only like the photographer, but how the rooms look and then how fast it sells. And
showcase that. We got a lot of good before and after pictures, and then also the before and after would be, what Zillow says your house is worth and what we actually got for it, right? Because of what we did to prepare it, right? And so again, our strong suit is selling for top dollar on the sales side, but then helping that seller if they need to buy either out of state or in state or in the same city, whatever it is.
Love that.
And a lot of folks downsize, and we're helping a lot of folks upsize, and so.
Perfect.
If you can get
So let's just
2 transactions in one.
So I'm your seller, right? I love you guys, and I'm signing the iPad, and you got the listing, right? And I'm like, I'm paying you guys everything. And what's the launch strategy? What is walk me through the launch strategy, right? Now that I hired you, like what can I expect, Jason, Brianna, moving forward? What's going to happen with listing? Like, what should we expect?
Well, we always ask what method of communication you like to be communicated with, right? I mean, and so we want to get on a rhythm that is not too much for you, but it's not too little. And so we want to ask that question during the listing appointment as well. Obviously, text right now, doing a group text
Yeah.
is something that we encourage.
Well, another big question always asked is their time frame. When are they looking? Why? Obviously, we're not asking why, what their goal is. So then we need to know their timing. It could be a month from now. There could be because they're changing jobs. It could be because they're a teacher and the year is ending for them. I mean, there's so many questions. So once we know their timing, we back into their timing of when they want the house listed, right?
Right. And so we really back into it. So we have somebody, for example, saying on this day in January, I'm going to be driving a big truck up north and I'm done. Here's the keys.
Yeah.
So obviously before that date, if that truck's going to be gone, we're going to need a week or two maybe thereafter to get the house quote unquote ready for pictures. And then we kind of just back into it from there, right? But like Brianna said, if we just go to a listing, you just sign the listing, you say, I want to go to market as soon as possible. We show you the list of what we feel would add value. Maybe there's 3, 4, 5 things on that list. And then you say, I don't know anyone. I'm not going to do any of the work myself. We start getting quotes. So it's usually around a 2-week process because we're talking very light stuff. We're talking light landscaping. Painting's always a big one, either carpet, some sort of floor cleaning or carpet, window cleaning's huge.
Window cleaning is huge.
And house cleaning, those are really the 5 that we consistently go with. And that doesn't take that long. And we have a group of people that we also know, like, and trust in terms of contractors that don't make us look silly. They actually show up on time. They do what we say we're going to do, and the price is reasonable. And we do that preparation. It takes a week or 2 to do that, depending on their schedules.
But we could go faster. We've had people where they get in escrow and they need to list their house in 3 days, and we'll go that fast. So it's whatever is right for the client. As fast as we need to go, we'll go. And as much time, if we need to take time to get the house properly ready, then we always suggest to take that time.
My question is always like, how much could you have gotten for your house if you would have done everything correctly? How much? You'll never know because you're not going to sell your house twice. So why don't you just do it right the first time? And if money becomes the issue,
I like that.
I like that.
I mean,
That's a good line.
Money is the issue. We have a few contractors that will even bill in escrow, right? Because they know how we can close the sale in a couple weeks, right? I mean, and so they're not worried about that. But I mean, that's not every single day, and they obviously charge a little finance fee for that or whatever. But because their money's tied up. But I don't want the money to be a reason. I'd rather. Our methodology is you spend $1, get $3 back. I'm not going to ask you to spend $1 for $1. We got sellers out there asking us, should I fix the cracks in the driveway? It's like, no, you're not going to get your money back for that. You know what I mean? But the red wall should be painted to like a beige or like a natural tan color. Why? Because I had a buyer that didn't make an offer because everything checked out. All the boxes, single story, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, swimming pool, went out in the driveway after showing the buyer the property. And what do you think? I knew they're going to say, let's write it up. No, but I don't think so. How come? Why? It had 4 bedrooms. They said because the walls were red, dude. That was their comment.
Wow.
And so because of that, we try and make every property, if we can, if the seller's allowing us to, in a neutral palette, right? And I said that, take down the sports memorabilia and take down this. We literally were working an open house. This is maybe 15 years ago. And I had somebody, a buyer, come to the front door, and I said, go ahead and come on in. And they said, no. I said, wow, okay. I thought they were playing around, and they said, I would never buy a house from a USC Trojan fan. And they pointed to the doormat.
Wow.
Wow.
I obviously took the doormat and went and threw it in the garage, and we didn't have that problem the rest of the day.
Yeah, you never had that issue again.
Ever since then, I've made sure to depersonalize sports in a way that is not going to offend someone if the seller's allowed. We just went to another house and they had a whole man cave, and you can't depersonalize that. It was actually pretty cool, like how they had it.
I still would have packed it all up.
But then the seller of that house,
you would have edited that a little bit more.
I edited it down.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, buyers react to red walls, buyers react to sports teams, buyers react to political magnets on your fridge,
they react to green carpet. You got to just change it.
And they don't want to
pink tile on the counters or something. I don't know.
Mr. AI, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is, Jason and Brianna have very high level EQ, right? And so what I love about Mr. AI, I'm actually reading his books. There's an emotional intelligence revolution, and you guys understand this better than anyone, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you understand people are making decisions based on how they feel, and you try to explain that to the homeowners in a delicate way. And you're right, you just approach the business in a divine, empathetic way,
Yes.
and you come to them with authenticity, and they could feel that because 95% of body language is how we communicate, less than 10% is verbal. And I love your style, how you'll send them the listing agreement. It's like if you feel it's a good fit, they'll sign and they sign, and you have
Hmm.
that no pressure approach
I
because
love
you
it.
have
Yep.
that consultative, empathetic wisdom that I feel you're right. Most agents, they don't
Not gonna think
have
about
that.
that.
They don't
Yep,
think
and
about it.
yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Listings, and I think it's really about, like,
Thank
where I'm
you.
hearing you guys say, it's like you guys remove all friction possible, right? From somebody saying, "This is not the house for me." So, let's get into what are things that people like if somebody's out there that they wanna tap into more listings, they wanna emulate what you guys have done, what should they be thinking about as an approach for lead generation? How they even get chosen, right, to go on this listing appointment, right? So let's talk about that. Maybe we talked a lot about like what we actually do at the appointment, but let's talk about the other part, right? If somebody's out there has the other issue, well, I don't even have an appointment to even go on, right? I know what I need to do to prepare. So walk us through the success formula for that.
I mean, if someone's just starting out, you mean, or just, I mean, just go.
Somebody, or maybe somebody that's already seasoned, they've been working with more buyers, and they you want I want to now be more focused on listings. Like what should be their habits, their daily activities that they should be measuring? Like what kind of things should they be doing?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it depends who you listen to and the books you read to go. But I mean, I could tell you what works for us is not just picking up the phone and cold calling expired listings. That's not our bread and butter, right? I mean, we have to be visible where we're at. We have to have good reputation in the city we live in. We have to be, one, two, or three on Google and AI. Obviously, there's a whole back end to
Yeah.
that as well. But and I'm talking organically, not the paid per click. Being part of DLE, the designated local area expert, being recognized as the leading real estate team in the city that we live in is huge. And obviously, getting reviews is huge from the people because we want to create screaming fans, raving fans, right? And so obviously you got to know when to ask for that, review. And by the time they get the keys to their new house or the check for their house that just closed, it might be too late, and so I just think the reviews is huge, visibility is huge.
And always keeping in contact with your past clients. Just because you finish your transaction with them,
Mhm.
you're not done with them. They're your clients for life.
And
And how often? How often do you do that, by the way? What's your success formula for that? Like if somebody's saying, "Well, I want to keep up with my past clients." What does the cadence look like?
well, I mean, we're on a weekly cadence with our past clients unless they unsubscribe from our newsletter, right? Because we have but then
I
we
love that.
practice. Obviously, if I had a magic wand, I'd do 100 transactions in Laverne, right? I mean, I would love that, right? But I can't. I can control that as much as I can control it. So we're trying to hyper focus in the city we live in because we're experts in that city. We know the streets, we know the traffic patterns, we know,
Mm.
I don't care what Zillow says. I know I can get you 100,000 more because I know this area because I just sold one around the corner and I saw the demand for that. And I know that yours has something that one doesn't. And so just knowing the city, knowing the area, but I think our cadence is a weekly rhythm with a newsletter. And then we do obviously for our past clients, we try and do 4 drop-offs, a year, meaning like we just did a poinsettia drop-off. We just did, for
Points
holiday,
poinsettia? You said poinsettia drop off?
Yeah, like each client, we give them a card with the poinsettia, and then for Christmas.
we
Yeah, so it was hundreds.
and we yeah, we
Wow.
300 poinsettias got dropped off obviously during the
Thanksgiving or
fall. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did like a candle. I think April, May we do some Girl Scout cookies, and then in
Do
sparklers in
We
July.
also have client
mean-
events that we started to do, like a shredding event, an ice cream event, and they could
E-waste
come.
event, right? So we're trying to obviously everyone wants to know the address of the seller who wants to sell, right? And so we're in the business of doing that. So we're trying to stay hyper focused and geo farm the area that we're in. We're doing obviously mailers in the city that we're in. We're doing postcards in the city that we're in. We're doing notepads in the city that we're in. But then once you get them, right? I mean, it's us. They're buying the relationship, right? I mean,
yes.
they're buying what we're proposing, what we're saying that we can do. And if they don't like the results, they don't have to close. They don't have to go into escrow. Like, let us just, so we'll work for free until you're happy with what we do. That's kind of where we're at. And once you're happy, then write a review and it'll help me get up higher on Google and we'll be more visible because of you. And then you're going to probably buy another house in 7 years, or your kids are, maybe 5 years, 10 years, whatever the number is now. That depends on what you're reading as well. But then they have friends as well. And so we create a lot of screaming, raving fans that point their finger back to us, and we're helping their family and their friends now. But then we want to love on them. Right? I mean, obviously, I'll take a little bit of money and, hey, let's try and get some new clients that we don't even know about. But every day you're at the gas station, you're at the coffee shop, you're meeting people every day. Every day you should have a couple conversations. Just don't be afraid, I guess is my advice.
Yeah.
Just be confident. I mean, you live in a
I
home,
hear
we live in a home, you know?
Yep, I hear
Yeah.
you. I was gonna highlight that. I was like, you know what? What I get from you, man, is ultimate confidence, specialized knowledge. Right? You go deep into like what your city is and what it offers, and obviously you have the confidence because you live there, and then you're doing all of the different elements. And one thing I do want to ask a question about and I think it's very important, right? You're getting reviews, which I think are very, very important. And you also
Mhm.
said that the timing is very important. So what does that look like for? What is your process of having the customer give you a review? When do you do that? You do it on the front end? Do you do it in the middle? Do you do it at the end? Like, walk us through that process.
It's before the end and after the middle, right? So I guess the third quarter, right after they're happy with the offers, and we're in
Third
it.
quarter.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the third quarter. I mean, we tried it all different ways, and we obviously naturally you wait till the end and then you ask for it, right? But the third quarter seems to be the sweet spot, you know. And it's like they're stoked that you just got them 10 offers and they went 50,000 higher, and we put it into escrow and the buyers released all their contingencies. That's the time to ask for it. You know what I
Get
mean?
it
I
right now.
love that. Yeah, that's gold.
Yeah.
Because then,
Yeah.
because then it gets real when the contingencies are on.
And
That's
then
smart.
2 weeks later, they're busy packing and moving. Then you're asking them to give you a review 2 weeks into their new home, and they're still unpacking and stuff. You know what I mean?
Stressed.
They're stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have stress now, and then the excitement, motivation is like, now I'm going somewhere else. They're not even focused there. So that's really cool. So third quarter noted for sure.
Right.
So what I would say the other thing is obviously I'm huge into personal development, and I do a lot of things, read and go to seminars, and how much of that would you attribute your guys' success? Obviously, I know you guys are faith-based. You guys have very strong values, which is phenomenal. Anything you guys particularly do that helps you guys to maintain that consistency, motivation, mindset?
I think the reading and the podcast, tapping into shows like yours, Mr. AI and Mr. Listings, being able to be around people like you. Obviously, someone told me a long time ago, where you're going to be in 5 years depends on two things: the books you read and the people you meet. And so obviously now you got Audible, the books can be read to you, but you still got to meet people. Like I just heard somebody say, so obviously one of my kids' friends, said like networking is cringe. Like I guess that's like the thing, right? And I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like networking's everything. That's how you're going to be who you're going to
Yes.
be in 5 years. Like, you know what I mean? So obviously being not the smartest person in the room is key, right? So you want to surround yourself in an environment like, this show here, and be around people that know things, that are doing things. And obviously there's enough business out there. Have an abundance mindset, not a,
Yeah.
limited, but there's enough for us to go around. And mirror what it is that someone's doing if you want to do it. Just copy what they're doing at this point.
I mean, the best of your ability. I do think both of us feed off of each other a lot, and we both try so hard to make the other one happy, to make the other one. We both are hard workers together, and I think definitely together we're stronger. And definitely every day we're thankful and we're grateful for everything. We don't take anything for granted, and we're very thankful.
Yes, I like that. I love that. Yeah, gratitude, abundance mindset. I love that. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. All right, so systems and tools, right? I think you mentioned DLE. That was one of the systems tools that you guys are leveraging and using. Anything else or tell us a little bit more about that, right? Like, what are the key things that you say, hey, these are the essential things that I think a successful listing agent, top producer should have? Like, what kind of tool systems do you guys leverage?
Well, I mean, database is huge, right? I mean, that could be, the old black book, or it could be Excel, or it could be Follow Up Boss, or whatever you're using for a database is huge. But being able to like meet that person at the coffee shop and be able to have a conversation with a buyer that's coming in. I mean, nowadays, everything's going digital, but whatever your way of keeping that is, and tagging them as a, warm lead or hot lead or whatever your schematic is on that. I mean, that's important. And then, do they get a poinsettia or do they not get a poinsettia? Do they get invited to our shredding event or not? And so being able to like have that and be able to get that in a rhythm, and just stay consistent, I guess, is really the biggest thing. I mean, the newsletter takes up a second to put that together, but the consistency pays off. And when I think it doesn't, and we're not getting anything from this and we stop it, God speaks to us. Like literally the next day or the next week, somebody will say, "Oh, I was getting your newsletter for 3 years, but now I've not seen it. Like, what happened? Oh, I stopped it, So, like,
Yes.
I mean, I'm using that as an example, but the real example is like a magazine ad, like that we might have taken out, 5 years ago or something, and then someone says, you know, I've seen you and now I'm not. What's going on? But now that magazine ad's been, because we're all over the place, casting this wide net, and we wanted to go hyper local. That's really been the key, and obviously being able to leverage DLE for that and be able to become the experts for the city that we live in and be able to market that in a way that people see us in a way that's not threatening, because we're just community members. We're just
Right.
in the same.
You're one of them. I
Yes.
love that. You're just one of them, and you're just simply going hyper local with print, mail, and online visibility.
Right.
And you've got the reviews and the track record, and they seek you out.
That's it.
That and that, I mean, that's powerful. It's just, I love it.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yep.
just so simple
Yeah.
what you're doing. I mean, the fact that you guys are doing 70 plus deals, and you got to really I really give you guys so much credit, because 90% of the agents in our industry in the United States didn't even sell one home. And we're talking about seasoned, battle hardened vets. And I think people get lost in the sauce with so many different things, but you've just kept it simple. You don't cast the wide net. You go hyper local with print, mail, and online visibility, and that's the key.
Right. And
Yes.
obviously you want to bat 100%, or at least I do, right? I know we all do. And so you go out to a listing, and you're not going to bat 100%, right? I mean, that's just the
Yes.
reality of it. But I mean, because of the relationships and the books you read and the people you hang around and this confidence and just getting better every day, I mean, the percentage goes up. It doesn't go down. That's all I can say, And so just keep.
Yeah, we're always trying to evolve. We're always trying to get better. We're always trying to learn. So that never stops.
Yeah,
So
and-
we always want to get better.
Okay. I love that. So rapid fire question, top like 2 to 3 books.
I mean, I have to say, obviously, the old school Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor
Mhm.
Dad. I mean, that's down there for sure. You got Think and Grow
Think
Rich,
and Grow Rich. Okay.
and
Love that.
I always like Who Moved My Cheese. I mean, that to me,
Yes.
yeah,
That's a small read. I love that book. Yeah. That's a great one. Who Moved My Cheese? Speaking of Who Moved My Cheese, where do you think the cheese is going, right? What are you guys working on for the future? Like, what is goal vision for you guys in the future?
I mean, vertical integration, it seems like, is coming to our industry. You can just see what's going on with Zillow and with Redfin, and so we're just trying to love on our database more. I think that's really where it's going to be. And if I don't know if it's 5%, 7%, 10% of the database sells every year, it just depends on who you're reading that gets you that number. I think that you gotta be visible, and you gotta have content. You gotta have something that differentiates you from the other guy or the other gal or the other team, and you gotta do it non-transactional. You gotta do it in a relationship way that is loving and is best for them, not for you. And even if that means you go the whole way and they tell you, look, I realize that I don't want to sell, I want to keep, you got to be okay with that. You know what I mean? You can't be counting your cheese before you get it, I guess. You know what I mean?
I mean, we treat every house as if it was our own house. We put ourselves in their shoes. What would I want if this was my house, if we were selling it? And that's the approach we take for every client. So it's very personalized.
Powerful. Visibility, content, relationship, personalization, obviously surrounding yourself with the right people, visibility, obviously. And I think you said relationships like maybe like 12 times throughout the entire podcast, which is definitely something to highlight, right? I mean, it's a relationship business. I think you're spot on with everything, and obviously your results show for it. As we're closing up, let's talk a little bit of like a closing thought, right? And let's speak to those agents that are out there that want to have a breakthrough, that want to get to the next level, that want to become the next Mr. and Miss Laverne. Like, what do you have as a piece of advice for them?
Just keep going. Honestly, like you'll never don't give up. I mean, if you got to have a passion for this though to be successful. If you just say, hey, I saw this TikTok video and I'm gonna go get my real estate license because on this show they're making millions, and
And you're not in it for the right reason.
yeah, Ryan Serhant,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that guy's so cool, and I want to be that guy. Like, you're not doing it for the right reasons. You got to love helping people. Obviously, you can go be a waiter at a restaurant and do that. You can do that, at any industry, right? I mean, bag groceries is helping people. I used to do that. I used to hand out rafts at Wild Rivers. I mean, I used to I love helping people, but that's what I kept saying at the very beginning. What am I going to do when I grow up? I know I'm going to be helping people, but doing this with my wife and with with real estate, I mean, and the combination of the skills that she brings that I don't have and vice versa, it just, I mean, it's a whole, like you said, Mr. Listings, it's a whole yin and yang thing going on, and like we complete each other, and 1 + 1 is 3, and the client sees that, right? And we want to help you more than we want to help us, but because of that, we help us too. You know what I mean? And so I would just say, find your passion. Don't do it for the money.
Yeah, do not do it.
The money will come if you're doing it for the right reasons, I guess is what I
Love that.
yeah.
Where do I sign?
I would sign.
Yeah. Because
Mr. AI, I would sign today.
yeah, because we know how to teach the systems. We know how to step you through the process of getting the home ready, and how to summarize the offers, and how to negotiate for the highest. And we got all that. That's all dialed in. But it's like you up here and in here, really right here. Are you doing it for the right reasons? And I feel like we both are, and we're both aligned. And when we get a client that is aligned with that as well, it's like, let's go.
Yeah, we're not just sticking a sign in the board and listing it with our phone and here you go. Oh yeah, it looks great. Yeah, no, that'd be a disservice. So we see people do that, and they're not in it for the right reasons then.
Yep, absolutely.
Powerful.
100%. I love it. I appreciate you guys sharing all of this wisdom, knowledge, gems. I think this was extremely valuable, right? Everything you guys shared. We're gonna definitely share this everywhere. So for anybody that's listening to this that wants to get a hold of Jason and Brianna, we're gonna include all their information here. Make sure you give them a follow on social media. Mr. Listings, any closing thought that you have as we're closing up today?
They're just, I mean, yin and yang here. It's just a lot of power and authenticity, and the value system's everything. And I just love that they're just God family, real estate based, hyper local visibility is the key, and just keeping it simple. And I think people just respond to that very well. And I just love seeing a husband, wife working and growing together. And that's what it's all about. I mean, it's just amazing. So I just really congratulate you guys for finding that win-win. And there's not many people like you, and succeeding at a high level, just consistently year in, year out, 50 plus transactions. You guys look great. I mean, there's a lot of real estate agents in this industry that are just stressed to the nine and stroking out in the whole 9 yards. And it just seems like you guys are just thriving, and you are thriving. And it's just exciting to see and hear. And you are the American dream. And I think a lot of people in real estate want to get to your level, and your authenticity is really powerful. So thank you for just sharing that with us and just being yourself. And it's really inspiring, to tell you the truth. It really is.
Guys, thank you guys. You guys are extraordinary. God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being part of our podcast. We're definitely going to be sharing it on all platforms. And until next time, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Awesome. Thank you guys.